for in a player, say 16 years old?
Again, just those 4 A's. You know, attitude is first and foremost. Any coach will tell you that. You have to have the right attitude. I'm sat here now, we've just discussed before we've gone on air, you know, a boy in the international academy team is on his way home because his attitude wasn't right. You know, you get one shot at this game, and it's a very, very brutal game, very cruel game. You get one shot, and attitude is first and foremost. In the athleticism, well, you're looking at that power, you're looking at strength, you're looking at stamina, you're looking at balance, coordination, and I have to say, regardless of what we think about the game, it's speed. You're looking at how quick they can run, and that is a straight line, that is a change of direction, how fast can they turn. You've got to have that pace. On the ability side, it's everything. It's the pass, it's the first touch. But as you get higher up the food chain, it's about what you do off the ball as much as you do on it. And ambition, you want ambitious boys to come in. You know, when I asked the boys the other day, what do you want to be? And, you know, I've got people saying they want to be successful. They're hearing them buzzwords off the parents and the schools. Great. But I'm asking them what they want to be, successful in what? You know, and I said to the boy, tiddlywink champion of the world. What I meant was, you know, and the boy knew what I meant. Yet when I asked the A team, it was very much professional footballer, English Premier League, want to play for Man United. It was all those scenarios.
What is the perception of Canadian soccer players from an English or European standpoint?
I've been coming to Canada now for 3 years in different areas, and I've seen some of the Canadian players come over to England out of their comfort zone and do well. And at the youth structure, there are some very good, talented players. First and foremost, I go back to what I was saying. The players you've just mentioned there will be athletes first and foremost. I think over here you tend to, you know, we all play the politics game, and it exists in any soccer, but the politics, it's very much a win mentality. You know, lots of tournaments, lots of 11v11 games, and it doesn't leave a great deal for player development when you are constantly wanting to win trophies. And, you know, I'm sat here, and the president of Bolton Wanderers Soccer Club sat with me, and I go into their office, and there's some fantastic trophies. But for me, it's player development. In our academy, there's no trophies to be won. There's no record of games. There's no league. We don't start being a winning mentality and a competitive mentality till really 15, 16. And we don't really go for the win. Even at 16 to 18s, it's about developing players that can take the next stage. At 16 to 18 in a professional football club, the next stage is the reserves. That's not about winning leagues and trophies. The next stage from that is to get in the first team squad. So by 19, 20 years old, you need to be in the first team squad. By 20, 21, you've got to be fighting for a starting place. Right. If you get to that age and you've not got that, you'll not make it in the professional game. And I know that's a very young age to say that, but that is a fact.
Where would the struggles be for Canadian soccer? Is it at the coaching level, the coaching philosophy of the Canadian Soccer Association itself?
In some respects, yeah, but you've got to remember your country is so vast. You know, England's a tiny little place compared to yours. Your country is so vast. The one thing that I would say is, from the point of view in England, and even anywhere in the United Kingdom, the primary sport and the number one sport is football, soccer. Over here, you're competing with a variety of sports. You're about to host the Winter Olympics. You know, I just seen the other day about someone who had the opportunity to go and play national Canadian soccer and opted to play ice hockey instead. It's where the glory can be in some respects. So you're up against it a little bit more than we are. You know, in our schools, the best athletes play football. Out of school, the best athletes play football. The other sports are the peripheral sports. That's no disrespect to the sports. Where your primary sport is hockey. There's no question about that. Yeah. And so you're competing with that. Now the training for hockey and football will be very different. You know, they want big, strong, powerful, as in size, structure, muscle, physique. You know, we don't want that. We're looking for something completely different. So the contrasts are very different. Right. And I speak to some of the boys who I've just had, and the girls. And the best player I've seen so far has to be a girl, and some of them that I've seen are dual sport players, and so they've got decisions to make as they progress. And I think it's sometimes a case of, you know, we train players and they leave. It's a case of training players to make them want to stay, and it's sometimes what you're doing in your coaching and how you're putting yourself across. We try and make a stimulating environment. You know, we always talk about quality provision. We always talk about self-esteem, and the kids have to have a desire to learn via coaching and education. And if your coaching is not up to standard, it isn't going to happen, and you're always going to be up against it. You're always going to be going uphill to try and get those players. It's funny how you talk about role models. I did a little bit of a sports psychology session, which you saw, and we were talking about role models there. And it was strange that the boys were all talking about their role models, yet the girls didn't know any role models. And that was, the girls obviously don't have the inclination to actually watch soccer, where the boys will live and breathe it. But as I said to the girls when I talked about a support network that was required, with the beauty of the internet, you know, within an hour of getting home, they should have really watched their role model. And role models are a good thing. And if you have to step outside your own sport, you know, the role models that we use in our football club are, you know, Lance Armstrong, you know, Ayrton Senna, you know, these are role models that we use. Muhammad Ali. Within sport, it's David Beckham. You know, Vince Lombardi, the Green Bay Packers, which everyone will know about. You know, he's a great inspirational role model for coaches and what he achieves. So role models are very good, and you need those type of role models. Hockey covers role models quite easily because it hits the national press as well. It hits the front page. I know while I've been here, I've been looking for soccer news in the Toronto Star, and you know, they get the English Premier League results in.
Just the results.
It's just the results, so there's a little write-up. And so you're up against it. You go, Paul, who's within Bolton Wanderers Soccer Club, couldn't believe when he stayed in the hotel within the stadium, he came asking me, where do I get the ice hockey results? And I went, what? You'll not get them here. But, you know, that it's just the same. It's the flip side. It's just the same. The one thing I will say is what I'm seeing in Canada is a change. The players are getting better. But I see talented players at 14 and 15 that are as good as what we have in the Premier League at that age.